welcome to Lillico Country Store customers. I've been making Christmas wreaths for a very long time and all sorts of other things floristry. I'm going to show you today how to make a Christmas wreath. And hopefully from the bits that you can gather, please don't go and buy too many things. To start with, I mean, the one essential thing is to have a ring, and this is obviously a metal wreath ring. It's available in some florists, not all. Also real wire. It's a binding wire, but it's a very useful, very flexible wire that works well with the other components. Moss, sphagnum moss is the traditional way to do it. You can collect moss if you've got a very mossy lawn. It all works, but it is about the bulk. Sphagnum moss holds water. So that is the source of water that it will have once you've made it. Some basic foliage, basic greenery we call it. This is quite a pretty one. Acupressus. You can have more green ones, and this is a yew. Along with those, it's really just having a little look around your garden. So lots of other things. A viburnum, ivy berries, rose hips, little bits of eucalyptus. Bear in mind you only need little bits. There is some privet berry, which is really interesting. Figs, not going to grow into figs this year now. Echinops, little thistles, and pieris, all really good for making a real variety. And also what I've just seen is some rosemary. Sorry, I can't pull it out, but you know what rosemary looks like. Now to the making. Take your wreath ring, put your wire around, doesn't matter where, and just give it a couple of twists. 1, 2. Leave that in the middle. Take a sausage, I always take a sausage of moss. Hold it tight, it's going to be quite dense, hold it tight. Take your wreath, take your reel of wire round and pull it tight. Round and pull it tight. And then you take the next one, make a sausage, push it up quite tight so you don't get a soft spot, round and pull it tight, round and pull it tight, round, pull it tight. So if this is a pretty repetitive thing, it all works according to plan, hopefully, until you have got a complete ring. I'm probably going to just delay now. We'll come back to you when I've got a complete ring made. When you've got all the way round your wreath, make sure that it feels secure. It doesn't want to be too squidgy. You've got to have something that's reasonably strong to hold on. Cut your wire with some excess, take it through and underneath one of the edge pieces of the original ring, and then just push your end back in the moss. There you are, you've got a completely finished ring. Now we start again with some basic foliage. Now we don't do the whole ring in basic foliage. This is just to give it some bulk. So a little bunch like that. Start your reel again. Again, exactly the same procedure. Pull it tight each time, because we are going to make it so that it actually doesn't have any bare look. We have a little bit on the outside, a little bit on the inside. You can now start to break up some of the smaller bits, some of the more interesting little bits of foliage, and bring those in as well. So here we are, we keep going, we keep going. A little bit more of the yew on the outside, a little bit more of that on the inside. Again, I'm not going to take it all the way around, but it's a very good way to help you understand and to start yourself off with something that is like that. Now I'm going to stop there. I'm going to then get a few more little bits of foliage and berries ready as I do, so that then the next process is really very efficient. I've now done a lot of cutting of little bits and pieces, all of my little bits of variety, and I cut to a reasonable length, which we can just wind straight in. So having got that far initially, I'm now going to start adding a little bit of variety. Lovely rose hips there. All this has been gathered today. And also the privet berry, blackberry, again, very, very stunning. Really interesting. You don't often see it quite with that much powerful berry on it. We're now going to put some eucalyptus, and this is eucalyptus with a berry again on it. So just going to show you how the sort of way we're continuing. So don't think pine or yew the whole way around. We're going to do little sections. So we've got a real nice variety of looks. This, another black, but it is a ivyberry. Again, ivyberries come in so many different colours, right through from a pale green this time of year to very black, and I'm not quite sure what it signifies, so I can't answer that one. So that's a question somebody will have to enlighten me on. Again, we're going back to some spruce. And here we have lovely rosemary. Again, great smell. Most people have a rosemary in their garden. You can make a whole wreath of rosemary if you really wanted to. If you've got a really big bush, it could look very stunning. Figs, they're a bit weird, but let's try them. Yeah, you see, that looks good, doesn't it? Of course you can, if you want, put fresh fruit in. There is a different technique, but it's perfectly possible. And just because I can, there's a few little helichrysum that I had left in the garden. So not much in the way of flowering left, but that's the little helichrysum, the straw flower, which will of course naturally dry in here. So it's the perfect thing. But the one thing that is not brilliant for wreaths is flowers, fresh flowers, because they just need a much more powerful, consistent source of water. Just the finishing touches now. We have got a wreath that looks like that from the back and that from the front. Lots of variety. It's really random. There's no pattern. You can do it in a patterned way. You can, if you feel more confident just doing rings of flowers, that's lovely, or foliage, rather than dotting them around like this. What I have done is put some long bits in. And long bits, you can either leave them to go, to stay like that, or you can secure them in. Only because as time goes on and it gets closer to Christmas, and anything natural out, that is not in full water will start to soften. I'm just going to show how you can fix them. Here's a mossing pin, and we've got these little bits of longer stuff. So you just literally take them across the stem, a bit of ivy here, and just literally pin them in. Use the length of the spray bits in a fantastic way. You see, that one can come over here. So just literally take it over there and then just stick that in. One more there. The final bit of dressing to make it look beautiful is a ribbon. Because it's all very natural, I'm going to go for a very natural colour. You can glitz it up if you want to. But a decent bit of ribbon, about just over 1/2 metre. Where you came to the stop, which is likely to be the area that's a bit bare, you just literally put your ribbon round and tie it off. That's then your hanging for your door knocker or wherever you're going to hang it. And then to make a bow, you need a meter. Tie it around, put it up underneath the crossover. Just literally tie it in a bow around there. Pull it tight. Make sure that you get the bow, a nice even bow, before you finally pull it into place. And then all you've got to do is to cut the ends to wherever you fancy. But that meter has given you, and that is your final affair.